want a paper towel or even your fingers will do nicely. Once you have your pan coated, then you're going to dip the brush in again, and you're going to coat one side of your parchment paper. Now on the two skinny strips, skip about 1 inch on both ends because that's going to stick up and you don't want butter on that. And you don't need to put a lot of butter on there. This just helps the cake release later on and helps the paper stick to the pan. We're going to take one of the small strips and we're going to put it across the pan like this and then up the sides. You want about 1 inch or about 2.5 centimeters hanging on each end. These will give you tabs to help you release the cheesecake from the pan after it has cooled. And then you put the next one on in a cross pattern. And if you wanted to, you could do an extra strip just to have some added insurance, but I've always found 2 is plenty. Once you have those in place, we're going to put on the collar, and this goes on the sides of the pan. And the reason why it's so tall is sometimes if you put too much air in your cheesecake, it will souffle up. You don't want it spilling out into your oven or in your water bath. Now if you do have a spring form pan and you're using that, you need to use 2 layers of aluminum foil on the outside, and that will ensure no water will get into the pan as it bakes. Put the circle butter side down and then press everything into place. Once you have it in place, you're going to set this aside. I have 5 graham crackers in here. It'll end up being a half a cup of graham cracker crumbs. That's 76 grams. And I also have in 1 tablespoon of sugar. That's 12.5 grams. And you're just going to bash these with a rolling pin. And if you wanted to, you can use a rolling step. It should be a fine crumb like this in the end. Grab that melted butter from earlier, whatever you have left over, and you're going to mix this with your graham cracker crumbs. You can use the bag that you mix into your graham cracker crumbs, or you can pour this into a bowl and just mix it by hand. I will warn you, when you use a bag, you tend to get holes all through it. You will get some butter leaking onto your counter. Keep that in mind. Pour this into the bottom of your prepared pan, and then you want to press it down firmly. Take your time here, and then pour it in your bag. Scrape out all the excess, and then you want to tap out any bubbles. And you're going to put hot water in a 9-inch cake pan, 23 centimeters, until the water reaches about halfway up the side of the pan. You're going to bake this 60 to 75 minutes, or until the center reaches 160 degrees Fahrenheit, 71 degrees Celsius, and the center just wobbles just a little bit like you're seeing here. Then you're going to turn off your oven, keep it ajar if possible, and let it sit there for 45 minutes. This will help prevent cracks or sunken cheesecake, and then remove it and let it finish cooling completely before you store it. You want to loosely cover this with some saran wrap or plastic wrap and chill it a minimum of 4 hours. If you chill it overnight, it will be even better. The next day, you're going to bring it out, and then we're going to use those tabs to start releasing the cheesecake. Pull slightly on each one of them, gently but firmly at the same time, and you'll start to feel the suction release. Once the suction releases, just alternate tabs and pull it up gently. You don't want to try to pull it up too quickly or you will crack the cheesecake. This is taking me a little bit of time, and I'm going to keep it in here so you can see what I'm doing. But once it comes out, it should lift out really nicely. If you have someone to help you with this step, it will come out a lot faster. This is absolutely lovely. I wish you could see how silky smooth this cheesecake is. It's absolutely wonderful.